This is the TSG Multimedia Podcast, bringing you the best train, model railroad, and historic preservation news, updates, and information since 2010.
We're sponsored this month by the TSG Train Crew on Patreon and by ModelRailroadControlSystems.com, Electronics for Operations, and by Podomatic, a podcast hosting and distributing platform. Thank you very much.
Welcome to the TSG Multimedia Podcast. I'm John, and this show is all about model railroading, real trains, and preserving history. Thanks for joining us today. I want to point out the list of names scrolling past to my left. These are all the excellent people who support the work we do here to bring the content that you enjoy to the world. They all signed up for the TSG Train Crew on Patreon, and I recognize them this way on every podcast. If you enjoy the programs on this channel, you can get your name added to this list by going to patreon.com/TSG Multimedia and signing up to help us produce the content you love. If you can't afford to pitch in, there's a way to help for free. Just comment on and share your favorite videos from this channel as far and wide as you can. That also helps. We also have sponsors that are mentioned at the beginning of every podcast, and I've included links to their websites in the written description below. Supporting them helps them support us. And I just want to thank everyone who helps us create the content for this channel. This is actually one of those sort of in-between times. I just finished editing the podcast for October yesterday, and I'm over here now at Seth's house, and we just looked at some Class 1 Model Works way cars. They're Santa Fe, so they're not cabooses, they're way cars. And these are really cool models. What did you think, Seth? I mean, this is the first time you've seen these in person, right?
I think they are way cool way cars. They have done everything you could imagine with a way car caboose model.
And you really did just say way car, way cool.
Way
cars.
car.
How did you do that?
Well, I just slipped it in there, you know.
Hi, we're doing something today. The Pacific Coast Region's Coast Division of the NMRA is having our fall meet here at Santa Clara Depot. So I'm going to walk over here.
So I figured, what the heck?
So we came here to help do it virtually, as we do. And some idiot that looks like this forgot a cable, so we can't use my equipment. But they're going to do it virtually anyway, just by using a laptop hooked up to the internet here. And I've mentioned this many times before. I'm going to mention it again because we're doing it this time. The virtual meet is being run entirely off of this laptop that they're going to run the meeting through, and they're going to run the presentations through. They're using the webcam that's built into the laptop, and they're using the audio that's built into the laptop. And you can do this too, no matter where you are, as long as you have a secure internet connection, or even a connection using a phone. You can use a phone hotspot. You can do the same thing and have virtual meetings for your division or your region. It's real easy.
I have a 3D printer, so all the parts are 3D printed, and just talk about.
Well, this is a couple days later, and I've had a chance to think about the Coast Division meet. And unfortunately, we had to use that oversimplified setup because I forgot some stuff. But you know what? It's okay. The people who attended virtually still got what they were signing up for, and we were able to include people instead of excluding them because they couldn't be there. And that's the whole point to all this. So if you're watching this and you're in a division or a region of the NMRA that doesn't do virtual, but you're sure that they have Wi-Fi at the venue where you do it, send me a message, podcast@tsgmultimedia.com, and I will gladly show you how to set up your computer so that you can do the same thing for your members. Because part of, I think, what we're trying to do as decent people, is to include people that can't be there. And it's really easy to do it. You just have to want to. That's really the answer. So anyway, just my hat goes off to our division for doing this. And I don't know, shame on you if you don't, because it's easy to do and people deserve to be included. Hi, we're doing something today. We've come to Menlo Park to see our friend Richard Eberli, who has a really cool HO scale layout here in an outbuilding. We first met at the West Bay Lines, right? He's wearing the shirt, which is the club in Menlo Park that we did a layout tour for, I don't know, I think it was sometime last year or maybe the year before. And you can see that layout tour on this channel. I'll put a link to it down in the description. But Richard, say we've met in an elevator or at the West Bay Lines, and you wanted to tell me about your layout. What would you tell them? Tell the viewers what they're going to see when this video comes out.
Well, this is my retirement project. I've always wanted to have a beautiful layout. My first layout was in a garage above, and you had to crawl to everything to make it. So I said, no, that's not me. I needed a building. So we built this building and started in 2018. We spent up until now, we're still working. I mean, it never gets finished, but it's getting close. This layout has 14 scale miles of mainline track and about 14 scale miles of sidings and industries.
It's a large multi-deck layout, and I've been looking forward to this. And now that I'm seeing it in person, I'm looking forward to making the video even more because I think the viewers are really going to enjoy it. So we're going to get to work, and we'll come back with some updates later probably. So we've been here all day now looking at this HO scale layout that's down there. And I don't know if you can tell, but we're up on top of the layout now. And Richard says, oh, you should look at the garden scale stuff, because he has a garden scale layout on top of all of the HO stuff. And I get up on a ladder and I see this chair. I'm like, what's that chair? I thought it was just something being stored up here. No. He actually sits here. It's attached to this platform. He has his switch list or whatever it is over here that he uses to operate the garden scale train from up here. This is one of the strangest things I think I've ever seen that a layout with.
Now this is all battery operated too. There's no track power, because trying to get up here to clean this is not an easy situation.
Even getting up to the crow's nest is a little bit of a chore, because I had to crawl under.
Secret entry.
Yeah. So that's going to be it for our update on the podcast from this layout. We had a great time. Thanks for having us.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to sharing the HO scale layout tour once it gets edited. So
yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you, John.
Hi, we're at the Santa Clara Depot today for our ongoing project of archiving all the artifacts here. And I just noticed that we have a sign up for the open house that's coming up. And I wanted to plug that here today because everything's open at the open house. We're going to have the library open, the waiting room. We're going to have our company store. We're going to have the layouts open. The members come down and run all their best trains for the open houses, so the HO scale end-to-end scale layouts. The boardroom, which is behind the store, that'll be open so you can see what's in there. We have a business rail car outside the depot here that you can come look at. That'll be open. See all the stuff that's in there. It's all of this stuff is full of artifacts. And also the area around the tower and the interlocking tower here, also all going to be open. So come down to the open house, SBHRS open house. It happens only twice a year, once in April and once in November. And this is your chance to come in November to come see what the SBHRS has here. Now I'm going to go get to work doing some archiving of artifacts, and I'll probably have an update later. Or if we find something that I think is interesting, I'll be sure to share it with you here. Hi, so this is a bit later, and we finished what we were doing here with the archiving the artifacts for today. It was a pretty productive session overall. We found some really interesting old style batteries, and these things are like gigantic glass vats with lead that gets dropped into them. It's kind of weird. It's funny to think how far that battery technology has come since then. And then while we were at it, Robin needed some pictures of the area where the interlocking tower and speeder shed and tool shed buildings are for a project that he's working on. He's going to build all that stuff in HO scale. That's going to end up being used at tabling events and stuff like that. So we got some aerial shots of that with my drone. So yeah, overall pretty good. And that's it for today anyway. Next update will come soon. Hi there. We're back at the SBHRS today at Santa Clara Depot, and we're setting up for the Talking Trains show. And we used to do shows from this location when I was doing the Crew Lounge show. Every month it was live from here, and we haven't done a live show from here like this probably in 4 or 5 years now. So it's kind of cool to be back doing this here. And, COVID got in the way of all that. And so it was before COVID, the last time we did a live stream from this location. So we're going to be doing Talking Trains, and I'll come back on later with an update with Murph. So we're all set up here, and when we come on, it probably looks like it's no big deal, but we have a lot of stuff set up here, and this is like it's a lot of stuff. It took me at least an hour to figure out how I was going to put it all together. And of course, thinking about it last night and the night before and the night before and the night before. And we've got it all together, and it looks like it's going to work just fine. And we'll come on with a wrap up when we're done. That'll be probably me and Murph just talking. But look at these guys. Charlie's here as the doctor. There it is. Anyway, we're about to go live. We'll come back. I'll come back with Murph when we're done, and we'll do our normal wrap-up like we usually do. This is a bit later, and you're getting an up-the-nose shot because we're using the phone for this. We just had a really fun Talking Trains session. These guys are still sitting here. Thanks, guys, for coming and doing that. And I had a great time, and I think this is the second time I saw their presentation, and it was even better than the first time.
Yeah, it really was, and actually brought back some memories of the one time I was actually at Dave's layout. Also, seeing people like Chuck Quintani was kind of a sentimental journey for me. One of the coolest things about model railroading is the friends you meet and the people you remember.
Hi, we're in Santa Clara right now. And this, I think, is the last thing that I'm doing for this month for the podcast. And there's something happening in Sunnyvale that we're going to, and I'm going to cover it for the channel with this. But I don't really quite understand what it is, but someone is actually working the event.
Yeah, it's at the Sunnyvale Heritage Park Museum, and they're celebrating the history of the Townsend Stevens Murphy party that emigrated west by covered wagon, and then some of the routes that they used ended up being rail routes, so it's a trails to rail event. And so we're bringing some artifacts from our museum to show people, and there's some other organizations that are going to be there to kind of celebrate the rail aspect, but also the history aspect, like History San Jose. So it ought to be a lot of fun.
This podcast is out on November 1st, and SBHRS's open house is on today and tomorrow. So if you're in the Bay Area or can get to the Bay Area and know someone who likes trains, or if you like trains, well, I guess you know yourself, right? You might want to come down here and check out what they're doing, because everything is open. And this room that I'm in with all these tubs and crates and tables is being set up for what we refer to, or have referred to in the past, as our company store. And the company store is a place for you to get all kinds of bargains on railroad-related stuff. So we're going to have books,
posters, signs, structures of all scales, trains, rolling stock, kits. Everything you can think of will be for sale here. And it all helps the SBHRS fund their operations for the year. So please come to the open house, check out the company store, check out the layouts. All the members will have their best trains running on the layouts that day. And of course, the tower is going to be open, as well as the rail car. It's worth a visit. Come check it out today or tomorrow.
Hi, my name's Lorraine Hepworth, and I'm reenacting Mary Murphy.
That's my wife. I'm Scott Hepworth, and I'm reenacting Martin Murphy Jr. And we were children in Wexford, Ireland, when we were feeling persecuted in our families as Catholics, and our extended families decided to go to Quebec, where we could have a little more freedom. But it was cold there. We stayed for about 20 years and eventually left and went to Missouri and tried to farm there. And we were there a couple of years, but malaria hit our family. My mother died, and one of our little children died, and others from the mosquitoes that bit us. We learned about California.
From the trappers, right?
From trappers who'd come back selling their furs. We learned that it was a beautiful place
to go.
It was perfect weather, perpetual spring, but it was Spanish, not English.
Yeah, and we were farmers, and we were looking for good farming land.
You could grow anything in California, but the thing that really attracted us was it was Catholic, and we were Irish Catholics. So we decided we'd band together with all of our extended family. We got some wonderful scouts, Caleb Greenwood and Elisha Stevens, to help us cross the country. We were nice to the Indians, so we didn't even have any fights or contests with them. We got along well with everybody and with ourselves.
And we crossed the Sierras.
We were the first wagon train to cross the Sierras going west. We ended up discovering Lake Tahoe with our young adults who rode their horses there to go on down to Sutter's Fort, while the rest of us went up over what's now called Donner Pass. And we crossed down and got through into Sutter's Fort area, where we got a 5,000-acre farm and took advantage of the gold fields and the gold miners coming in. We ended up settling in Santa Clara Valley in what now is Sunnyvale. A lot of people don't know that Murphy Street, Murphy Avenue, the name Murphy, all came from the Murphy family. Downtown Sunnyvale has a Murphy Avenue, the old historic spot. That's where we used to live.
Yeah, and the train came right through here. In fact, Martin allowed the trains to come through his property as long as they had a stop, and there was a Murphy station. So
now the Sunnyvale station.
Right, now it's the Sunnyvale station, renamed. But so his workers and the family, and they could use the train for transporting their goods. So it was really wonderful to learn about how the railroad, helped build the area. It was very important.
Hello, my name is Robin Gilstrom. I'm from the South Bay Historical Railroad Museum in Santa Clara, but we're here at the Sunnyvale Heritage Park Museum for an event they're having, talking about the history of Sunnyvale and the pioneers who came out from the East Coast to here, including Murphy, who is the founder of the city of Sunnyvale. And one of the things we brought along with us is this map that shows the route of the San Francisco-San Jose Railroad. And on that map, you'll find markings of the various historical pioneers like Murphy, Ringsdorf, Castro along the route. We brought our exhibit to show what we have at the museum in Santa Clara. If you want to learn more about us, we have a website. It's at www.sbhrs.org. And you can find out more about us, what we're up to, and what we do.
Hi, I'm Chris Cross. I'm the president of the Golden State Toy Train Operators. We're here at the Sunnyvale Heritage Museum for their Trails to Rails event. It's a pretty interesting situation. They're talking about the trails that people use to get to the West Coast, the California Trail, the Oregon Trail, and then how they eventually became rails. So we represent a toy train segment of the model railroading hobby. And so we have small layouts that the kids can run sometimes, and the adults can run. If you need more information about our club, we are gstto.org. So, as we always like to say, all aboard!
This is a little bit later, and I've talked to several people here so far today. And there's a lot of little, I guess, exhibitors here talking about their organizations, and they're all either history related or train related. But it's a really cool event, and the event seems to be going pretty well.
Hi, welcome to Sunnyvale Historical Museum. We're part of History San Jose and Portraits of the Past. We try to make history come alive and inform people how wonderful our background is, and so many opportunities to come out and see both parks and both museums, but also to volunteer. We all love our volunteers. Elizabeth Urbach, Jana Standridge, and Anita Chow, we're just part of the group History San Jose and Portraits of the Past. Portraits of the Past are volunteers out at History San Jose, and we do portraits and vignettes. You get to learn about Valley history and see pretty dresses at the same time. So that's half the fun for us. History Park is open 9 to 4 every day except major holidays, and it's a great, safe place to come out. Also, many children to come out and do their field trips out there, and the programs are by grade. And when you come out, you can also just come out and do your steps or walk your dog on a leash in your control. But we also have opportunities to volunteer out there as a gardener, in our restoration shop, over in archives and collections, the biggest archives and collections in Northern California. It's a great place to do research, to look up people, to find things, and just enjoy yourself. So please come out to Sunnyvale. It's got a great history and so much to offer, and History San Jose as well.
Hello, my name is Dale Dennis. I'm from Woodland, California, but I'm here today at the Sunnyvale Trails to Rails event, and I am here as a member of the California Pioneer Heritage Foundation. Their website is www.californiapioneer.com, and I am a calligrapher, which is my specialty. We go to schools and other organizations to teach about early California history and what life was like for those who were pioneers. And so I come and demonstrate calligraphy and try to help people understand what it was like for people living in that time frame.
Hi, my name is Robert Cahey. I am a docent and researcher at the Sunnyvale Heritage Park Museum in Sunnyvale, California. And we're here to talk about the pioneers that blazed a trail across the West in 1844. The Stevens, Townsend, Murphy Party is probably one of the best kept secrets in the history of the U.S. They were the first family to bring wagons over the Sierra Nevada in 1844, and our museum tells that exciting story as well as the development of Sunnyvale and Santa Clara Valley. If you'd like to learn more about the Stevens, Townsend, Murphy Party and the Sunnyvale Heritage Park Museum, visit us at heritageparkmuseum.org. We'd love to have you come by, and we'd love to have you help us out as a volunteer.
Hi, my name is Kim Thurgate, and I'm the event manager for the Sunnyvale Heritage Park Museum. We just got done having a fantastic event called Trails to Rails, and the time period we were highlighting was 1840s through 1920s. And we had people dressed up in costume and over a dozen and a half different vendors that were involved with both the history of the wagon trails and the railroads. And we had families and children playing, we had gold mining, So kids were finding treasures, and 3 people found gold, and we're very happy about the event. And the main goal of the event, we had the Bay Area Garden Railroad come, and they run steam engines, which are very appropriate to the time. And then we had this history expedition team that was doing an amazing event in the Sierras. And all of a sudden we had these 2 great themes that we put together to create Trails to Rails. The museum is fantastic, and if you haven't seen it, we call it Sunnyvale's best kept secret because so many residents have not heard of it or seen it. We invite you to come check it out. We're open on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 12 to 4. And there's many ways to get involved as a volunteer to help out at events like this. So come check us out, and we look forward to meeting you at our next outing. Thank you.
Hi, we're back where we started from this morning, or whenever that was, earlier today. And there was a lot of history there in Sunnyvale, or Murphy, that I didn't know about. How did your tabling volunteer work go?
We had a great time, had a lot of visitors that were interested in hearing about our map that showed where Martin Murphy had first settled and then later became Sunnyvale. And then we shared a lot about our museum and some artifacts on the table, and people were having a good time. And we look forward to seeing more people come to our open house and just visit our museum in general.
And that's all from here. We'll see you next month.
And now for the catches of the month. Dan DeGraff sends in a couple photos he took in Oroville when the Union Pacific Big Boy briefly came through Northern California. Raymond Swift sends in this striking catch of Clover Valley No. 4 as it runs along the original transcontinental route through Farwell and Niles Canyon. These video catches come from Lucas Woodward in Australia, who has a YouTube channel called 762 Media. This is Puffing Billy Locomotive 6A hauling a load test train from Belgrave to Gembrook on Tuesday, October 21st. This engine has been undergoing a thorough ground-up overhaul since March of 2019 by staff and volunteers, including Lucas. One of the newest modifications to 6A is the wooden cowcatchers, making the engine look as close to possible to how it looked when it entered service on July 18th, 1901. If you have a train or model catch you'd like to share, please email it to podcast@tsgmultimedia.com. Be sure you own the shots and include the what's, whens, and wheres of the shots you send in. As I mentioned, the SBHRS is having their open house today and tomorrow, and that's always a great event. Coming up on November 15th, besides my birthday, Silicon Valley Lines is having their open house. It's only on Saturday, and it goes from 10 until 3. If you're local to the Bay Area and interested in operations, this is one of those sort of rare chances to get your foot in the door, as this club, Silicon Valley Lines, is ops-based, and it runs op sessions every month. Come to the open house, check out the layout, and meet some of the members. You might even find yourself operating on the layout soon if you do. They're at 148 East Virginia Street in San Jose. So that's it for this podcast. Be sure to join us on the 19th for TSG Live Talking Trains, when Murph and I will be talking to our railroader friends about modern-day prototype railroading. That should be a real good one. If you enjoy what we do here, be sure to subscribe, share the videos with your friends, and comment as often as you can. All these things help others find us, and they're all free to do. Of course, if you can, join the TSG train crew as well. Thanks so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you next time.
If you enjoyed this program, please join the TSG Train Crew on Patreon. TSG Train Crew members get behind-the-scenes access and ad-free sneak previews in 4K ultra-high definition. Go to patreon.com/TSG Multimedia for more information.